Hello, everybody. Hello. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, welcome to another evening live stream where we're going to be talking about 3 new songs that have come out, or 2 new songs and 1 revamp of a song that was very early on in the process. All about Eurovision 2021. Hope you're all doing well. It has been a bit of I'm slightly unprepared, despite the fact that I knew that this was the time that I was going to be talking. I suddenly feel like I had to rush everything at the very end then. So if the lighting or the audio doesn't sound right, please do let me know in the live chat. If you are watching this live, hello. I hope you're all having a good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever it is where you're watching this current time zone. If you're watching this back, hello to you too. If you are watching live and the live chat option isn't there, just hit refresh and it should appear. I forgot to turn it on until 5 seconds before I went live. So yeah, we have got 3 songs to talk about today. We are going to be talking about the United Kingdom, which a lot of people are excited by, which is James Newman back again with Embers. We've got Switzerland, the new favourite, Gjons Tears and Tout l'univers. And then Go with Shum, which we already had and now we have again. And they've, well, I say we've got again. It's completely different, completely new, it feels like. So yes, there is lots to talk about, and I'm going to get onto that, but I wasn't certain how I was going to talk about this, and thankfully, the news broke earlier today that Belarus are not entering Gala Caesar Master with whatever the name of their song was, and that is completely right. And if you disagree, then no. I think, it was completely right, and I hope that they don't come back. I hope that they don't have a new song, because I think that it will still be very much the same problem. And they are that entire situation is very unfortunate, and that's all I want to say about that. I don't want to give it any more airtime. I think support Belarusian artists who are doing the right thing, and that's all I want to say. And that's, I think, what we need to leave it at. So, on that note, let's talk about something a bit more positive, because the UK are once again sending James Newman. They are, I think that was the right choice. I think it's been the right choice to send everybody again, and I think that should be. I think for the most part, most countries have done that, and countries like Denmark didn't do that, and that is what happened. But yeah, James Newman is singing Embers instead of, I was about to say Bigger Than Us. That's not right. It was James's song last year. The UK. Deep Sea Divers. Oh yeah, Yeah. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about 2021. I think there's obviously a lot more production behind this. It feels like the UK really are starting to get the hang. They've got this Sony BMG deal. They know what they're talking about. They know who they're dealing with. They kind of got the response to last year, and they are now building on that. They've gone for something that does have a place in the UK music scene. And, sometimes with UK Eurovision entries, it feels like either it's not something that you would hear on the radio or Spotify, and it's something, it feels very far removed from what we'd usually hear. And I think, for the most part, Embers fulfills that brief, but also still has Eurovision qualities to it. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's what you would hear now. I would say it's more like something you'd hear. To me, it sounds like I Came Here for Love, which was Sigala and Ella Air, which was about 4 years ago, which isn't great. It's still a little bit behind where we're at now, but also I'm not saying that James should 100% have done. James Newman is not the kind of person that would do, an Olivia Rodrigo or something like that, or a Billie Eilish. We have artists that are in that vein. They're not copies, but we have artists. He knows his type of song. We know it from John Newman and the stuff he's done with Rudimental and people like that. He has that type of song, and it feels right for him, and that's really important. It feels like something you would imagine he would release, like his follow-up single to last year, which if you've noticed, My Last Breath. That's it. There we go. Couldn't remember it, and now just remembered. It's been a long day, guys. Yeah, I think, yeah, there's definitely really good quality. I'm just going to preface anything I say is that I do like it. And I think previously, in my previous life, there used to be a lot of comments that I didn't like UK songs. I was hoping for us to fail, stuff like that. Do not get me wrong. I want the UK to do better than anybody else. And that's probably why I am harsher on UK entries than I am countries than some other countries. I don't see it as, at the moment, I don't see it really fighting for a top 10. To be honest, I think that of the big five, it's better than Spain. I think that, people love or hate Jendrik. I think that France and Italy are definitely better than the UK. And that's just my opinion. If you don't agree with that and you want to love the UK, great, you do that. But I'm just saying how I kind of feel about it. I think, it's got enough going for it. I think that a lot of people are going to like this. But again, I just struggle with who's going to love this. Who's really going to be like, that is my number one, that's my number two, that's who I'm going to pick up the phone and vote for, or pick up the app and vote for, whatever it might be. I just really struggle. I think that if it gets a good slot in the running order, that may help it a little bit, but I just don't think where we've got stronger pop songs, to be honest, I don't see it being able to compete with them. And I think that there's other songs that are sort of in the running from, I think France and Switzerland, as we'll get onto, have got a very unique USP. We've got somebody like San Marino, as much as I don't think that it is a contender to win, they have a selling point, and I think that kind of helps them a little bit. And I just feel like we've got a really good pop song, but I just don't see it as a massively competitive one. I just looked over at the chat and I just saw a lot of people say My Last Breath as well. So yes, thank you for reminding me, because I could not. I hope that for his sake that it comes across really, really well live, and that he's able to elevate it. James feels like he's a very confident set of hands, and that he will know how to work his camera angles, and there'll be good elements. It sounds like, for the staging at least, that they are putting a lot of effort behind it, that they've got a good team. I think I saw it's like people that have worked with Taylor Swift and people like that. So yeah, there's good roots, and it feels like overall the BBC are putting the right foundations in, and it's not going to be, I don't think it's like a Netherlands where, we're not sending somebody on the level of a nuke and suddenly it's like, oh, the Netherlands have gone from the bad days to, oh, we're immediately top 10. This is a building project, and it feels like there's a lot more going on there now. And I think that this is going to be a solid place for the UK. If we get left-hand side, that is a huge success, considering where we have been. And there's potential that it could do that. I don't think it's going to be in trouble of like bottom 2 or bottom 3. Because it's the UK, you just don't know, is the thing. Like, it could go really, really well, but I feel like you just immediately are in the mindset that it's going to struggle for whatever reason. And I'm not a person that subscribes to Europe hates us or whatever like that. Voted Remain. I just think that there's something that worries me a little bit about it all. But the reception has been great, and I'm really, really happy for that. I'm really happy for James that reception is there. I think, yeah, they're going to have to, in terms of the staging, that is another thing that, if they can elevate it, great. Again, it's the UK. There's potential for it to go very wrong. And I think that looking at the music video, they have ideas. I really hope that they bring some kind of like trumpet or something like that, a bit of brass, just to help it along. I worry that it's just going to be like 5 dancers dancing around and James sort of just being there, maybe looking a bit awkward, unfortunately. The Bigger Than Us wasn't staged great, and they had a potential to elevate that with staging, and I don't think that they did. If anything, I think it actually harmed it. So yeah, there's let's just hope. I really hope. I want the UK to do so well. I mean, it would be great. If it's either London or Manchester, I've got an immediate advantage in terms of it wouldn't cost me an arm and a leg to go watch Eurovision there. I think it's good that, it seems pretty grounded, the reaction. Nobody is expecting this to be a winner. But there's some really good elements about it, and that's a good thing, and it's where it needs to be. Let's just hope that if it doesn't get a great result, if it gets a middling or a lower than average result, I just hope that it doesn't scare the BBC or scare Sony into reneging on this deal, because it's meant to last another year. Hopefully it goes further than that, because it's the same thing with the Netherlands. It took them 7 years to actually win, 6 years to win, 7 attempts, 6 years, whatever it might be. But the ball started rolling with a nuke. They got it with the common limits. They had a couple of missteps along the way, but then, they eventually got it exactly right. And that's how they won. And it feels like, that was a building project. Belgium had it and it was working really well for them. Then they sort of stumbled. So we just have to hope that that's the main thing. You want a good result just so that the UK stays interested, and that we don't have to have the constant chat of, oh, Europe hates us, that's why we never win. Let's just hope that doesn't happen, because it is quite tiring having to go through all that. Good things going on. It's not going to be in my top 10 by the end of all this. I don't think it is right now, but it's definitely beating out a lot of songs lower down my list at the moment. So yeah, it's perfectly respectable, and that's a good thing. And there's foundation for it to grow better. I think I've said foundation 6 or 7 times. So let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think? Where do you think the UK will finish? Where do you rank it amongst the top 5? Just generally, what are your thoughts about it? Let me know over in the live chat or in the comments. Huge thank you to everybody who is, if you are watching, please do like the video, please do subscribe. I've had some really great amount of views and gaining new subscribers, which has been lovely. And it does, I keep on saying this every time I stream, but it means a lot. It really, really does. And if I can't respond to every comment, just know that I am reading them, and just, thank you. Okay. So, we're going to touch on Switzerland right after this. So let me know your thoughts about Switzerland as well over in the live chat, just so we can smooth this section out a little bit. Let's go over and have a look what people are saying. Quite a lot. Yeah, a lot of people saying My Last Breath. Apparently, Belarus don't want to come back. Good. UK is good. Milosh says, surely they will not end up last again. I still don't think this song will do wonders at Eurovision. Yaya Ding Dong Pants, I see the UK as 8th at best. So there is that element. I don't think anybody is expecting this to win. I don't think anybody's really expecting top 5. And if you are, great, and I will love to be proved wrong, but I just think it is. It's not got that sort of special thing going for it, and that's what you not every Eurovision song has a special moment. Maybe that'll come live, but you just sort of think it needs that extra little thing, and I feel like it's very good at what it does, but it doesn't go that step further to be a Eurovision contender. Let's wait and see about the live, though. Let's wait. Simple things. This is a song that will elevate live. MEKS says, finally made one of these live. Hello, I'm glad you could join us live. I like the UK. It's not anything too special. People saying it is one of the best UK entries ever. And it's one of the best UK entries in recent times. Let's not get that wrong. I don't think it's one of the best ever, though, by far. I don't see much televote and juries. A few people saying jury vote actually as well there. I think the jury, again, this is one where, and I think I've said this with a few countries, but this is one where a jury will be able to rank this respectably. If you are a jury, you're not going to think, are people going to think it's weird that I put the UK 7th or 8th on my ranking? No, because it sounds good, it sounds modern. Some jurors do look at things like that and, does this sound radio friendly? Does this sound commercial? So some jurors will, I think, do help it get along. I think it'll get a nice amount of jury votes. It is the televote that I worry about with this one. Just because, again, it needs a good placing. hopefully it's not forgotten about. I do find myself just losing the hook a little bit in my head. Like, I listened to it just before I came on. So it's in my head at the moment, but there have been moments today where I've been like, oh, I can't quite remember how it goes. But then again, I've had the 2020 songs stuck in my head for a year, so it's hard to remove those a little bit and get the new ones in. But people saying, yeah, definitely a step in the right direction, and hopefully the staging will be good. People saying whether or not James can do the choreography, which there was a slight moment in the I was watching the video and I was like, it's a lot of other people dancing and James is moving about, but there isn't a huge focus on that. I hope they don't make him do a choreography routine. If that isn't it doesn't feel like something that he should be doing as an artist. So they need to build it around him, not have a staging idea. We need dancers, and then making James do things that doesn't seem fitting for him. So they need to just think of the entire picture and not. And yeah, I think one advantage maybe for the UK is that obviously we don't need backing vocalists on stage, like it can be pre-recorded. Waiting to see like which countries are going to take advantage of that, which ones aren't as well. I think if Tout wins in Sweden, for example, backing vocalists are just like the perfect thing to have as well going on in the song. So yeah, maybe I think they need to take advantage of as much as they can to really help this one along. People saying Glasgow 2022. Please not Glasgow. I have to travel really far north then, if that. And yeah, unfortunately, there were people saying that Ken Bruce. I didn't listen to the live. I didn't listen to the radio reveal, but Ken Bruce was sort of a bit dismissive in doing the whole "oh, Europe hates us" thing again, which is so trad, and just get over it. And yeah, UK is actually getting proper staging directors. It won't be the usual Jules Holland setup. Please, yes, very much Elaine. And yeah, there is a lot of Eurovision news, as Plenicide, I think that's how you say that, has said. There is a lot going on, and we've got Azerbaijan teasers, and North Macedonia came out, and I'm not going to be reacting to that today, but that's very Disney, isn't it? There is so much, and we've got another probably like week solid of this, I feel like, because we don't know what's happening with Malta, Belarus. Who knows what's going to happen there if they do send something else. We've got Azerbaijan still to come. They've given us a teaser which looks interesting. There's a lot. It doesn't end with Melfest. Is the summary of that. Okay, Switzerland. Speaking of your favourites in Sweden, but also the big favourite right now is Switzerland, which as a Swiss fan of many years, even when the going was very, very tough, it warms my heart to see Switzerland is the current favourite to win Eurovision 2021. Gjon's Tears is back. He is singing Tout l'univers. And I will say, when I watched Arcade for the first time, I vividly remember I was sat on the Overground in London and I got chills. And there was a moment watching Tout l'univers and I started to feel that a little bit. Not as much as I did watching Arcade, but there was definitely a moment where I was like, oh, this is a contender. It's in semi-final 2, which is, I can't at the moment see anything beating it in semi-final 2. There's some of the pop songs which might maybe beat it on a televote, maybe, but this feels like a jury winner through and through, and maybe an overall jury winner through and through. It's got that. It builds on where Répondez Moi was, in that it's got that like touching, hauntingly amazing vocal. But also, it's got that now kind of anthemic quality to it, and it soars at the right moment. There's so many good things about it. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but again, this is that kind of difference where you are either going to really love this and people are going to vote for it, as opposed to something where people will like it and they may or may not vote for it. If somebody really loves this, they are going to pick up that phone, and I think it's deserved. I think that Switzerland 2 years on a row have delivered a really strong song. And also, Luca Hänni, it wasn't a personal favourite of mine, even though, it gave Switzerland its best result in however many years. But, that was obviously very, very strong. And the Zimbs were too, obviously. But this feels like, not many artists have chosen to, do not exactly the same thing, but go in the same style and have managed to deliver it even better the second time around. And I think that Switzerland have done that. I think it's really impactful. It's got, like I said, it just soars at that right moment, and that last sort of 30 seconds just punches you right where it needs to. There are recap moments for it. I will say that I don't know how. I think they just need to do relatively minimal staging. I hope that they don't have a car wreck on stage in Rotterdam. I think, play on that universe, play on the stars and the mountains and all that maybe in the background, but keep it simple and just let the vocal come through, because Gjons is such a stunning vocalist, and we know he can do it live as well. This is one where you have confidence in it, and that's great because you don't end up having all the variables. I think it's one where probably what tends to happen with these kind of entries, and it happened with Duncan Lawrence, was it went in as the 100% favourite going in, and then the first rehearsal, because there's so many expectations, it sort of reins like the favouritism in a little bit. But realistically, it's still going to do really, really well. So if the odds change when we get to rehearsals, I wouldn't worry too much about Switzerland. I haven't really thought about where I'm placing it in my own head in terms of the rankings right now. I think it's definitely probably in my top 5, though. It's just a very compelling entry. And I think where it took me a while to get into... The first time I heard Répondez-moi, I didn't really get it. It took me a few listens. This time, like the first time I heard it, I got it. Granted, I know him as an artist more now, so you have to think about that. But I feel like there is just that hook, and it draws you in, and it's just very well crafted as a Eurovision song. I think it's probably... is it the best written song so far this year? Maybe. Very well, maybe. I think that I've not actually looked at how the lyrics translate, to be honest, but actually that's kind of shows how strong it is, because I don't feel like I need to. I feel like it tells me the story. Everything I need from the song I get just without knowing what he's singing about, which there are very few artists who you can get that. And actually I would say that so far this year, Russia actually have actually managed that as well. Weirdly, I feel like, you get the kind of message of that song through the performance. This one, you don't need the performance, and maybe the performance will just elevate it even more. But there's just, it's mesmerizing in its own way, and it's so great for those 3 minutes when it's on. Very, very impressed. I think it's a real contender to win. And there isn't that much more I can say about it. I'm just really, really enthusiastic and impressed by this one. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know I've already seen people are commenting about it. Do you think it's a justified favourite right now? Let me know all of your thoughts. If you're not watching live, let me know down in the comments as well. And let's have a chat about it. We will also get on to Ukraine very shortly, so let me know your thoughts about Go A, either Shum Original, Shum New. I inadvertently appear to have managed to do a car theme in these reviews, because everybody has a car. James Newman has his cars, Gjons has a car crash, and Ukraine have Brum meets Mad Max. So, that was an odd little theming choice we ended up with. Okay, comments about Switzerland. People saying definitely playing to win. However, don't think it's as good as last year. Feel it will do far better with jury than televote. And it's a great vocalist. I just don't find it memorable. So it's not and also Switzerland have seemed to do in Netherlands when after years of NQ they have several good results. I see it being the most likely song at the moment to win out of ones released over to Malta and Iceland. So we've got Malta and Iceland, particularly in terms of the potential and likely contenders to win. Sweden is also one. You never rule Sweden out. I know. Like I said, I don't think that Switzerland is going to be everybody's cup of tea. Personally, I do find it more enthralling than I did Répondez-moi the first time. I think I prefer the music video in moments to Répondez-moi. Like that whole the rain bit is always a great shot. I think Switzerland have got a good staging team behind them as well. And I don't think, if they get the best elements of the music video, the car crash bit is a bit weirder when he's like driving a car through space. It didn't it made me take notice of the video though. So yeah, that's always a good thing. But yeah, I don't think they're going to replicate that on stage. So hopefully, maybe they'll do something else that makes it even more memorable for people. Elaine's saying getting chills on the overground is because TfL never turned the heating on. Now, I am somebody that does not like the warmth, so getting chills is always a good thing for me. I am not a creature of... I don't do well in hot climates. Very much about aircon, so I'm happy for that, unfortunately. If they could do a VR thing kind of like the video, that would be so cool. Yeah, I feel like there was an entry in Switzerland 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe it was the year of Time Bell, so that would be 2017. I can't remember what her name was, but they had like a really cool like AR VR thing going on in the performance where it was what was it, Greta, something like that. And it ended up coming last in the national final, so maybe that put Switzerland off it. But I thought that was actually very cool. And I'm surprised, we know that there was like meant to be the AR element of the stage. I don't know whether they've removed that for the actual show now, because obviously the crowd is being removed. The standing crowd is now the green room. I don't know whether they've changed some of the elements around, but yeah, if they can do space, that would be amazing. Obviously, like Kate Miller-Heidke did it, and it looks okay if they can elevate it from there. And also kind of Zala and Gasper, I really like the way that they did Sebi, because it did make them feel very isolated, and almost like they were in like this field of stars. So if they could do something like that and just build on that, not make it too samey, that's something that they might be able to do. Yes, there's a lot of people talking about Ukrainian Mad Max, and people saying Switzerland is in the top 5. Switzerland will win, no doubt. Bulgaria are in the second semi-final. That is very correct, Crystal. Bulgaria is... I actually prefer Bulgaria this year to Bulgaria last year. And I know not a lot of people agree with that, it feels like. But growing up is getting old. That's what it's called. Growing up is getting old. I am quite a fan of that one. I wasn't a big fan of Tears Getting Sober. I think that this one is more approachable to me, but I know not a lot of people feel that. I will talk about, I have a huge backlog of songs, so I'm going to have to try and get through those over the next few days. Bulgaria will be coming soon, though, as will Denmark, Estonia, and lots of other. I need to do Albania still, and I need to do the country I'm about to talk about, which is Ukraine, because we knew that Shum would be revamped and reworked because it contained folk lyrics. Although, from memory, wasn't 1944 partly folk lyrics too? I vaguely recall that came out and that didn't have to change, but I feel like this one was a much more entirely kind of folk song, Shum original. So yes, Ukraine are sending Goe again with Shum. I really liked Solove last year. It was one of my like underrated faves, and I really liked the original version of Shum. And I feel like that's probably why I'm not as sold yet on the new version, because I got so used to the original version of it. And I liked the fact that it was so long. It built. It had those like crazy moments. It had a much more like gradual build up to the crazy like rave towards the end. And this one feels like they really had to get there a bit sooner. They've obviously made the video is much more blatant about that, I feel like. And, I think it's really cool. Some of the work they've done, there's Chernobyl is obviously involved in the video. They've got that whole like Mad Maxy kind of thing going on. And the whole industrialness of it. So yeah, I think it's hard for me as somebody that really liked the first one, I feel, to be overly objective about the new one. I don't like the new one as much. And I think it will probably take me time to get used to it, and then I will. But I just feel like there was a simplicity in the original version. And the new version very much feels like, as it is the truth, they've written new lyrics over an existing song, and it doesn't quite fit as well. I feel like, I just feel like it's trying to fit a square peg into a circle. It feels like, they might eventually get it there, but it's not quite. it doesn't quite feel like it flows as well. And it feels like it's a lot more rushed, which, I get it, 3 minutes. It sort of feels a bit more like an Occidentali's Karma because of that, though, where it loses some of that original magic. But I have faith that they will be able to... I think people watching it for the first time, as a lot of people will not... They won't care. They'll just hear the new version and they might really, really enjoy it. It's another divisive act. Not everybody is going to like Go A, and that's fine. And that the style of singing that they do, I want to say it's something like the white voice that Tulia do. I don't know whether that's the official terminology for it. If it's wrong, please do let me know. But I think that's kind of the same thing. Who am I to say? I'm a massive lover of like ethno, folk, turbo pop, dance, awesomeness. Anything like that, I'm always going to have a bit of a favoritism for. So I love Go A. I really like Solove, like I said. Really like the original. I like some of their other songs as well. It's exactly what I look for in an entry. So yeah, I'm still confident that they will, by the time we get to Rotterdam, I will have got used to the new version. I just need to probably remove the old version from anything that I listen to, and then I will get used to the new one. I think, they have ideas about the staging. If they do, they're going to have to try and convey a rave with only 6 people, one of which is the person singing, and the rest of the band are probably going to be on stage. So, yeah, they're going to have to be very, very creative about how they make the staging work. Maybe they'll get Gaetana's, video walls back, and they can have a load of people dancing on those, because they managed to get around it once. Maybe that's how they'll get around it a second time. It's not going to be for everybody, but like I said, and I've said it time and time again, I've said it 5 times probably in this video, but if you love an entry, then you are going to vote for it. If you hate it, it doesn't matter. You can't take points away from a song at Eurovision. It's all about getting people to love you. And I think that there will be people that will really love this, even though I don't love it as much right now. I'm just trying to think, I think last year it was an odd one. So obviously they revealed the semi-final running orders, and Solove was going to close, which I always thought was a bit weird. It doesn't feel like a natural semi-final closer. So, with a lot of the firepower in semi-final 1, it's going to need, it's loud and it's bold, and that will help it stand out, but it's going to need, to get just some good consistency going just to get those points across. But I can see a televote. I can see a jury for this. I don't think it's a contender. I think it's going to be it'll probably place respectably, maybe even better than some people might expect. I think it could qualify, but semi-final 1, there's so many amazing songs in semi-final 1, and it's going to be really, really tough, no matter who is in it. I don't think that there's many acts that you can rule out from there right now. So everybody is going for qualification and really going for it. If it gets through, I think it will probably, it'll start to pick up other points. There's some probably friendly nations in there that will help along the way. And let's just see, really. I think that there's potential, but I'm very aware that I'm probably in a relative minority of people that like Go A and their type of songs. And if you don't, fair play. But yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for those kind of entries. That's sort of where we're at with them. Let's go over to the chat. People saying, 1945 had only the one line from folk song. Yeah, that is true. I think Shum was very much more built as, from an entire folk song, it feels like. I know that there were some elements that weren't quite that, I feel like, but 1944 only had the one element, and that's kind of okay. That'd be like saying you couldn't make reference to, I don't know, you could only have entirely original lyrics the entire time, which obviously isn't going to be a rule at Eurovision. The lyrics are kind of irrelevant. It has kept the techno and cultural elements, so it's my top 3. This is Jack. The jury should say it as a unique song, but I doubt they will. Yeah, that like I said, this again will be one where you're either going to have jurors that really respect this or they really won't. And the weighting obviously has changed with the juries now, so that if a song gets like ranks first for somebody, that helps them a lot more than getting a lot of like 8th or 9th, and it won't be dragged down as much by a last place finish. So yeah, that's not gonna, it shouldn't harm them too much. And I think, yeah, they, again, it's very much like Switzerland, where I don't really care what they're singing because I don't need to know to get in the mood. And it does build a mood. I just think it gets there a little bit too quickly now. But such is the way. And yeah, it is true. They don't, the lyrics, the new lyrics, whatever they are, don't feel like they flow as well into the song. But again, it's sort of like, it's kind of irrelevant, and it's just the same phrase kind of repeated over and over again. You get the idea of that pretty quickly. Callum says, do I have any guaranteed qualifiers from semi-final 1? No. Probably not. I mean, there probably are. I'm going to bring it up and I'll see if I can, let's do this live. He is Googling. Let me know if you have any people that you think are guaranteed qualifiers from semi-final 1. Either in the chat or in the comments. This is really good stalling, I think. Okay, who do we have? Australia, Belarus, Ireland, Lithuania, North... Oh, God. I would be surprised if Cyprus... I think if I was going to be confident about anybody right now, I'd probably say Cyprus. And probably Lithuania. I would be shocked if Lithuania doesn't qualify. But weirder things have happened. I don't think, you would say Russia should, but, there's not a huge amount of friendly countries, especially if Belarus don't turn up. So that might not help, and it's not as accessible as some Russian entries. Malta, it depends on what Destiny does. Yeah, I feel like Romania should, but maybe won't. It's so hard. I really don't think that you can call anybody in semi-final 1. I think in semi-final 2, there's a lot more obvious ones. Like, I'm pretty certain that I say San Marino, I'm pretty certain. Maybe not. Bulgaria, definitely. And I think Switzerland, definitely. I think Serbia are almost a lock. And I really feel like Czech Republic are too. After that, and probably Finland. After that, though, it feels semi-final 2 is much easier to predict. It does also feel like semi-final 1, on the whole, is a lot stronger, which happened last year too. 2019, I feel like too. And also, I feel like happened in 2020. I feel like everybody said semi-final 1 was the semi-final of death. And I feel like it's only got harder for people this time. So, yeah, that's it's going to be tough for everybody, I feel like. And who knows, because we're in a different world to where we were 2 years ago. Things have changed, things have moved dramatically. People's taste might have changed. Do we know whether they will reject a ballad? Would people rather that? Who really knows? The Eurovision cart really feels like it's been upturned, and that's a great thing because it's exciting. It really is exciting, and I think that we've got 2 contenders from the Big 5. I feel like you've got one big outlier from the Big 5 with Germany. Netherlands, I think, is being overlooked. There's so many countries that could spring a surprise as well. It's going to be really tough to predict. I'm not looking forward to having to say who my 10 qualifiers from semi-final 1 are already, because I think I've probably, I kind of want everybody to qualify. There's 1 or 2 that I'm not that fussed about. After that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really difficult. A lot of people saying Lithuania. Sweden will qualify for sure. No way. Yeah, that is fair. I mean, we don't know who Sweden are sending. If somehow my dream of Clara Klingenstrom winning Melodifestivalen comes to fruition, that feels riskier. I don't think it's going to win Melfest, unfortunately. I think probably Tusa or I don't know. I think there's 5 potential winners at Melfest. My head is saying 3 and my heart is saying 2. So, or the other way around, maybe. It's going to be really tough. And I'm going to cover Melfest probably more. I'm probably going to do a stream on Saturday where I'll talk about Melodifestivalen and the final in good time to, have the final and a few other entries. So, yeah, That's gonna be really tough. But I would be surprised. Most of the entries that Sweden have in that final that are contenders, I think would also make it. That is true. I really hope that Ireland qualify as well. I'm not 100% confident, but I really hope Ireland qualify. Ukraine, a lot of people saying Ukraine as a definite qualifier, which is good. It's good. I hope, yeah. I would happily see it, even in its current form, not enchanting me as much. And also saying Voila is the more outstanding French ballad, and it's also a one-word title that everyone understands and can hook onto. So I think that's in terms of Tout l'univers. I think because it was so early on, I think people are kind of forgetting a little bit about France. Do not do that, because I think it's so impactful staging-wise as well. They don't need to really change the staging all that much, and that could really be a winner, I feel like. And it's just so French in the right way. And I feel like Italy, I don't know whether I would love it to be a contender to win. I think that it could, and I'm growing more confident of it. But let's not say for definite. But it's doing well on the scoreboard, which is a good thing, because rock songs don't always do well on the scoreboard. And yeah, lots of people saying that they would like Clara Klingenstrom to win. People saying that Belgium doesn't stage well and it might be lost in the semi. I really like The Wrong Place. I'm a huge fan of it, and I think maybe it is a little bit. And we had this previously at rehearsals where you don't have high expectations of a song, and then usually at rehearsals, like, people have suddenly shocked me, like The Humans for Romania in 2018. I was like, oh wow, this could qualify now. Or Moldova in 2019, where I'm like, this could qualify. The staging is so great. And that doesn't always play out, and we kind of like think we have low expectations going in. It helps. Maybe that's the thing with Belgium this year, where I'm not comparing it to rehearsals, I'm just comparing it to 2020, and it's so much better than 2020's entry for me, that's helping it. I don't know. It could get lost, but also I think because it's quite classy in a way, and there's a lot of noise going on in semi-final 1, that might help it along. Juries, I think, will really respect it. It might even get through just on that. Who knows? But Hooverphonic are... Again, it's one of those where people are going to be able to confidently rank Hooverphonic well if you're a juror, because people aren't going to be like, well, why did you put that there? I think that might help it through. Anyway, those are 3 more Eurovision 2021 entries. We nearly have a full field. We are getting there, closer and closer each day. Every day there's more songs to review. So thank you very much for sticking with me. If you have made it through the entire video, if you watched live the entire time, thank you very much. It means an awful lot. Let me know what your thoughts are on the UK, on Ukraine, on Switzerland. Just about the contest in general. Who's your current top 3? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, stay safe, keep well. Let's be nice to each other. That's the main thing. Please do not... If journalists or people or whoever it might be reacting to something don't like your entry, do not take it out on them. Do not make it personal. It is a song contest at the end of the day. Don't harass people, because it's a bit of fun, and just don't take it too seriously, because I don't anymore, which has been wonderful, because I think it's just fun. Eurovision is fun. Let's make Eurovision fun, because it should be. Anyway, little PSA as always. Stay safe, be well, and I will see you all probably on Saturday. Have an amazing rest of your week, everybody, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.